Greetings, traveler, and welcome to the corner of the tavern. I'm Patrick.
I'm Mikey.
And I'm Keith.
And today, we will be doing something a little different. We will be reading spooky stories. Now, where are these spooky stories from, my friends? I hear you wondering as we speak why they are from the scariest place on the internet, Reddit!
I agree with that, yeah.
And to keep on theme with the channel, we will be reading D&D horror stories. Woo! But before we get started, Key, you had something you wished to address?
Oh, yeah. For continuity's sake, this and some episodes after this will be recorded post me breaking my foot, failing an acrobatics check. I nat one. So, the DM was very brutal.
It was not me.
This time.
So, if you see me in shorts and stuff, I'm not going to be fighting to an extent. So,
yeah, there will be like some LARP videos with him, like coming out within the next couple of months that will have been filmed
previous to this. So, just to address the continuity errors for all that care, but. And heading on to our horror stories today, we're going to keep it spooky, so turn all your lights down, turn your sound up, and start joking to these Reddit stories.
Start joking. I don't know if these are stories you could joke to.
That's up for debate. Let's find out with story 1. Player drops our campaign because he can't accept I'm in a relationship. Very relatable.
I've never had something like that happen.
Key, care to comment?
No, I am.
Well, so it starts. Hello, I wanted to share this story with a sub because this all happened a week ago, and I'm still pretty mad about it. Fair enough. The featured characters in this story are DM, 20 male, my boyfriend, cleric, 20 male, my best friend and player in question. Well, then he doesn't sound like your best friend, does he?
Former best friend.
Yeah, that's kind of weird to still
Rip the friendship bracelet off.
Mage
Means too much.
Mage and Ranger, both 21 men, 2 friends of my boyfriend, and Fighter, 22F, who just based off of the fact that he doesn't really get any sort of addendum, sounds like he will not be a participant in this story.
Yeah.
So I, 21 female, have been playing a campaign for almost a year with some friends from university.
It always takes place at some fucking university.
That's also like
that's where you're going to find these kinds of horror stories.
Pretty much. I guess that they really are. Our universities really have become cesspools of poor social engagement.
I've also noticed in a lot of D&D horror stories, like, you rarely find, like, me, 34F, and, like, my boyfriend, 35M. It's always, like, 22, 21, 17.
Young adults.
Yeah, or teenagers.
Very cringy years.
They are.
Yeah.
We usually meet up once a week, and we all have great fun playing together. At least that's what I thought. About 3 months into our campaign, the DM and I start dating. When we told our group, nobody was really surprised, and they all seemed pretty happy about it. But then
Melvin stepped in.
Brother of the Joker?
Melvin, brother of the Joker. The joke is that he's normal, but he dresses like Heath Ledger's Joker. Over the past few weeks, I began noticing that Cleric has been acting differently around me. When it was just the 2 of us, everything seemed normal, except when I mentioned something related to DM. When Cleric would usually go quiet. Okay, it's phrased a little weird, but she would bring up her boyfriend, and then he would go like... So
Shut down and be weird.
Yeah, like that's so. I'm already so cringed out by this because could you imagine like just talking to somebody and then you're just like, oh, my boyfriend, and they're just like, ugh. Like they make the whole face and everything, like.
Oh, how dare you bring him up right now?
Yeah, you're hanging out with me.
I'm tired of competing for your time.
Now, you're giving him too much credit with that voice there. It's a bit too deep and commanding.
No, we're playing the game together right now.
Listen, there's 3 players,
The
but
DM
it's
is
just you and
against
me.
it. The DM's trying to get in between us right now, okay?
Yeah,
We're members of the same party.
dude, he subscribes to the DM versus player IRL mentality. At first, I didn't read the signs because he was also in a relationship. That's bad.
Oof.
That's bad. Oh my god. That's awful. So I just thought it was still a bit strange of him, considering it all kind of came out of the blue. I tried talking to him. I even asked him if DM and I were making the others uncomfortable when we were all together. I also asked the other players, but they all said no. But he assured me it had nothing to do with me and DM dating. That we had just been going through a rough patch, and that we had just... So when he says we have been going through a rough patch, he means him and her, which is just so weird. Yeah, that's something you say to like your partner that you're dating. That's not something
Like
like...
say about a friend, really. Be like,
So
I
this
mean,
person's
I
already
guess.
deluding that they're partners.
Yes. Like I can't imagine like if... Like hypothetically, let's just say you and I, Mikey, had a problem. And then you were like, I have a problem, or Patrick, do you have a problem with me? I'd be like, well, honestly, Mikey, kind of. Like, how weird would you feel if I was like, we're just going through a rough patch, Mikey?
I'd be like, what happened? I didn't realize that. What happened?
Do you not love the homies that much? Would you not say you're going through a rough patch? I agree with that, honestly.
I would be vague and non-specific as
And
possible.
non-confrontational.
And and bitch made.
Passive aggressive.
Yeah.
It's very roguelike. We're bringing it back to that.
No, it is not.
If anything, I say wizards are more passive aggressive.
You're right, dude. This is so wizard coded. You're
It's
right.
wizard coded.
Wizards are bitch made. After that, things went back to normal, sort of, and we continued our campaign with no issues until June. During summer break, I still checked up regularly with Cleric because I still thought of him as my best friend. It's so awkward. That's so like it's not just a friend. It's like somebody your closest friend
Yeah.
who's doing this to you. And we had some serious talks together, but none concerning this matter. Okay, so you guys are having like deep conversations. Fast forward.
Deep for 20-year-olds playing D&D.
Should I cast Fireball or Magic Missile? I just don't know.
You guys pick.
I don't know, man. Fireball was pretty good.
But Magic Missile is more precise and on point, whereas Fireball, you get everything in the area. I just don't know.
Hey, man, it's good when enemies are grouped up.
Yeah, so it's really situational. Okay, you know what? You brought me around. I get it. Okay, that is a true dilemma when you're at the table. And outside of the table. Sometimes I just ask myself that when I'm walking down the street. Fast forward to last week, I met up with DM, Cleric, and Mage, and after...
You refer to them as this in real life. That's their name for university.
Hey DM, how's it going?
Hey, DM, how's it going?
How's it hanging, Cleric?
Hey, why don't well, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not relating you to this story. I'm saying because you play one like all the time. But fast forward to last week, I meet up with DM, Cleric, and Mage after we were back from summer break. DM asked them if they were still wanting to continue the campaign. They both said yes. Then, 3 days later, Cleric texts DM telling him he was not going to play in the campaign anymore because it was, quote, mentally draining him. And even though he enjoyed playing, he still didn't feel like it, end quote. After about an hour later, Mage, Ranger, and Fighter all text us asking why Cleric was leaving the campaign. He had sent texts to all of them, telling he wasn't going to come back to the table, and he didn't text me.
He didn't text you?
He didn't. He texted everyone at the table except for OP that he wasn't coming back to the game.
Cringy years, I told you.
Yeah. So out of pure rage, I texted him.
Am I the asshole?
Am I the? Yeah. This is out of pure rage. Are you the barbarian?
Mm-hmm.
I texted him back, asking what was going on and why he hadn't texted me as well. His reply was something along the lines of, now this is in quotes, so I don't know why, This is just a formatting issue that's like bugging me personally. It's like you have the messages. If you were using quotes, you could have said exactly what he said, but instead you're saying it was something to the line of, and then putting in quotes as if this is what he said. So that's just, I want to address that.
We'll just paraphrase him.
Yes. What he said was something to the lines of, "I knew DM would tell you, so I didn't bother."
But you texted everybody else.
This is Mikey. You're right. This is so wizard coded. Gandalf. "Well, I knew he would text you. He would tell you. I knew Bilbo would tell you.
I knew Saruman would tell you."
So I didn't text you directly.
Oh no, wizard gnome.
When I confronted him about this, he basically told me that it wasn't fair that I was dating DM, that it was ruining his experiences as a player, and that I was his best friend, and he couldn't accept that I had grown closer with DM instead of him, and that I never acknowledge his feelings. He even explained that he thought that summer break would help him get over it, but he still couldn't see me with DM. Keep in mind, this man has his own girlfriend. And he's...
That was a very important detail of the story.
Yeah.
That they kind of glossed over.
Yeah. That he has his own girlfriend, but he's still crushing on this chick so hard that he's like, oh, I can't...
Throwing a fit over leading a campaign and stuff because...
Yeah, like...
Sounds like you need to dump your girlfriend.
I mean, honestly, kind of. If, like, you're crushing on a different chick so hard... Like, it sounds like you're wasting that girl's time that you're with.
Yeah, you're clearly not serious about the relationship you have, so get rid of it.
Yeah. I wasn't really shocked because I had already figured out he was kind of jealous, but it still kind of hurt reading those things because I thought I had been considerate in asking him if he was uncomfortable with my relationship. I didn't reply to him because I was too angry, and he sent another text to DM telling him that he would back off if I left the campaign. Oh.
Wow.
So now he's like, okay, I'm willing to come back, but your girlfriend's got to go. Real wizard move.
That might be a warlock move.
That is kind of warlock coded.
Yeah.
Because you're making this like crush the patron.
Yeah. You want to make a pact.
You're giving.
You want to make a pact.
Yeah, you're giving this pact too much emphasis. that for like little return. Like that is very warlock coded.
No, this is that is just, again, it's so crazy to me because like something tells me that the DM would rather let his campaign end than be like, yeah, babe, you gotta go. The cleric's the only healer. What are we gonna do without him? The campaign's ruined.
What are you talking about? Just die.
DMPC.
Just die.
Well, couldn't you just rebalance the campaign? No! The encounters are perfect. You can't rebalance them. I was considering actually doing it because I was so overwhelmed by the situation. But all the other players told me that Cleric wouldn't force me to leave if he was the one with the problem. Yeah, so fair, all the other players were like,
no, he's being fucking weird.
Yeah, no.
We don't want to play with him.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you were to leave over this, then we aren't going to play, basically. So yeah, this is it. Sorry if it looks like random rambling. I just really needed to get this off my chest. I still haven't confronted Cleric.
You don't need to get this off your chest. You post this on Reddit.
Well, I think it's fine to get to share this story. I still haven't confronted Cleric, and at this point, I don't think I ever will. That's fair. I think that's the most mature option.
It's not worth confronting over.
Mm-hmm. But honestly, next week we have the first session of Act 2. I guess we're just using Baldur's Gate. I guess that makes sense. Baldur's Gate has sort of taken over like the D&D sphere, so like people are using.
That's not like it's just a way to categorize parts of an adventure. It could be used for anything.
Yeah, that's true. And DM's roommate is joining us with his Goliath Barbarian, and I couldn't be more happy about it. And that's the story. So, I think that this cleric dude is just a freak.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
was
freakazoid.
like I said, it
He-
was a
he
very
a real
important
aberration,
detail that
if you
he
know what
was
I'm
in
saying.
a relationship the whole time.
He a real aberration, if you know what I'm saying.
Like, I mean, it still would have come off real needy if he was single, but like still, like you're already in a relationship with somebody, like you can't be acting like that.
Yeah, no, that's it's just so selfish
So
and
gay.
weird, and that.
And gay.
But it's just I can't put myself in like the shoes of somebody who's like so just jealous.
Mm-hmm.
Like again, it's just so weird that it's just like I know that you're dating somebody and I'm dating somebody, but we should still be each other's top priorities.
Yeah,
but
it's bizarre.
I don't know, man. I'm going to pick you up at like 2 a.m. I don't know.
Well, I mean, but we're just casual sex partners, so that's that's a little different, right?
No. That's completely different.
Mikey, get back to the subreddit. I screwed it up.
What did you do?
I don't know. I can't be trusted with technology. I
you
ruined
go.
the time
You
train.
can't use the obelisk.
I ruined the time train. I can't do this. I just
There we go.
give me-
That time train was insane. That was absolutely ridiculous. Like the lady was surprised at how bad you broke
Alrighty,
that.
Pat, pick out another story.
Thank you. Here's an interesting one, and it harkens back to something that you've talked
I
about.
just saw the
before.
title and I'm already dreading
Wait,
that.
hold on. Go ahead and read that title because I didn't hear.
The 12-player Pathfinder game of all newbies.
If you've never played a TTRPG
Oh.
before, don't do that.
Oh no!
Don't do that.
Oh, we got another like kind of thorough line to start with.
Yeah.
In my first year of high school.
Oh boy.
So
There we
again, young people. In my first year of high school, I made friends with a very extroverted guy. He was into Critical Role.
Oh God, blaring red flag. The world is ass. It's ass.
It's ass. And had some experience with TTRPGs, I think, in parentheses. So he's not even sure. So he thinks that. So this guy, he is very extroverted.
Mm-hmm.
He loves Critical Role. And he may even know how to play the game.
He wants to be Matt Mercer.
Yeah, he wants to be Matt Mercer.
He wanted to gather a
He
group.
wants to be him, like for real.
He's just like me. He's just like me.
He wanted to gather a group to play Pathfinder and asked for my help getting it set up. I had never played myself, but it sounded interesting, so I happily agreed and started helping to organize things. He had a starter set and a bucket of dice. I had a big basement and accommodating parents. By our powers combined, we had a plan.
That's good. That's a good way to start.
But then word got around among our group of friends, and being an introverted and anxious person, people pleaser, I said yes to pretty much anyone who wanted to attend.
Okay, that's when you gotta confront somebody and be like, you need to stop.
Yeah, that's
You're letting this get way out of hand.
like, I get like maybe you're a little anxious. I can understand anxiety and all that stuff, but like,
You can't say yes to every person that wants to join.
Well,
This
this
is-
will be a valuable lesson in that.
I
yeah,
don't think this is an anxious thing. You have to learn to say no.
yeah. He also invited a few people, and before we knew it, the table of 12. It was a table of 12, including the DM. So one DM.
13 in total.
No, it says including the DM. So
Oh.
one DM, 11 players,
Okay.
which is still bad.
That's still
It's
bad.
not much better.
Yeah.
We gather around 3 folding tables in my basement, set out our snacks, and discover most of the table hadn't yet built their characters.
Yep, they're going to be sitting there eating all night.
Mm-hmm.
I
They
put-
might even start playing Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, it's just unavoidable. I printed off a couple of character sheets, and we spend the next hour or so, give or take, dealing with that. Then we turn to my main man, ready to play. This dude sounds like he's in love with the guy.
Yeah, you're propping this guy up.
Also, you've never played before. It only, among 11 players, it only took you an hour to make characters.
They probably got some things wrong, like because they might be trying to hurry things up, and then they're just skipping over things they don't think is important.
Yeah, just pre-gen, maybe modify.
We're assuming here.
And he gets cold feet and doesn't want a DM.
I don't blame him.
Yeah.
I don't blame him.
Because you went and invited fucking 11 people. 10 people. Because between DM and
Yeah.
Like,
you invited 10 people to the party.
Like Pathfinder and Dungeons and Dragons are built for groups of 4, right? And when I say groups of 4, I mean 1 DM, 4 players.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is the mostly what the system is built around.
Yeah, especially if you've never played before. You've never played.
Yeah.
You're like, hey guys, first time DM here. Let's do it with an entire guild. Well, it's the entire fairy tale guild has fucking shown up for this adventure.
Yeah.
Like, no. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't.
You know what would salvage the story? And then we got out our Switch and we played Mario Kart instead. Something like that. I mean,
we realized it wasn't going to happen.
We decided to play video games
we had a good
instead.
time anyway.
Yeah, because this is 12 people here. That's a party.
That's a party, yeah.
Get the party started. The Mario Party. Desperate to salvage things, I hop on my computer and spent 15 to 20 minutes looking up stat blocks and rules to whip up a short adventure. I return to the table with a notebook of notes and anxiety beginning to set in. Now, I will say, you're saying you're anxious. That's a pretty, I don't know, you're stepping up.
I'm surprised you knew, like, I didn't even know what a stat block was. Or, like, that it was even called a stat block when I started.
Well, they did spend a previous hour literally just
I
combing
guess.
through the rules, but who knows?
They're also writing this in retrospect because they said this took place when they were in high school, so, they're just writing from their perspective now.
Yeah. They start in a town with a couple of shops. They spend some time buying and trying to steal things, of course. And then get started with their mission. They need to head to another town to recover something or other. It's been years and I can't find the document. It's probably gone. One path was a dangerous trek up a cliff across a rocky terrain with a lot of skill checks. The other was an easier path with more combat encounters. Well, I wouldn't really call that the easier path, but okay.
I think he's coming from like it was easier to put together. Like, it's easier to put together a combat encounter as much as a skill one.
They tried the former, but the skill checks were too difficult, so they doubled back and took the latter path. I dropped a group of wolves on them, but 11 players, it was a bloodbath. I tried to dial up the balance a bit, dropped more wolves.
Just more wolves, keep sending them. Get them to the meat grinder.
Yeah,
you want to live forever.
I was thinking, it's like in an action game when you enter a room and then just wolves drop from the fucking sky.
They're holding the pass. Hold the line.
The entire wolf pack.
I fudged the HP numbers a bit. They were still managed to deal with them easily. Yeah, because it's 11 players.
Yeah, it's 11 players.
Like,
yeah.
Like, what would be the equivalent to that? Like 60 wolves to like make it a balanced
You
encounter?
gotta use different creatures. You gotta, yeah.
Yeah. But I can understand first time DM. That was like something I did a lot too.
It's like, they're low level, so give them a low level creature.
Well, I was gonna say I didn't mix and match monsters. Like it's always group of wolves, group of skeletons, group of bandits, group of bears.
See, I was the opposite. I did mix match monsters, and some of them were too strong.
You face a mind flare and a beholder.
Not that high.
This was supposed to be a goblin camp.
Well, it's a gay couple between a mind flare and a beholder. Turns out.
I don't think their dichotomy works like that.
They're in the barn too.
Yeah.
You over here.
The mind flare, like he backs off and covers his crotch. He's like, oh.
I don't think they hit. Never mind.
You don't want to have that conversation.
No.
I'm pretty sure they don't.
Yeah, probably not, which is why I wouldn't want to become one. After
So imagine what that beholder was doing to the mind flayer.
Disintegrating him.
and he's like,
Yeah.
I was gonna say
Yeah,
he's
we'll
like
say
on a
that.
rack. It's like BDSM. He's like, oh yeah.
No.
After literal hours of combat,
Oh my gosh.
in parentheses, 11 players. Like, keep in mind, 11 players.
Yeah, I'm sure it takes like half an hour to get through one round.
Dude, especially some of them are casters.
Oh my gosh.
So it's not just, hit with sword, hit with sword, hit with sword. It's like,
What spells do I have?
yeah, first time players.
Can I use it on this one? No. What about this one?
Wait, what are spell slots?
Oh.
How do I get those back?
After they arrived at town, they found the objective almost immediately. They descended on the building, broke into it with no issue, and found the things they were looking for in minutes. Again, because there's so many people. It's just like break that. It's like a team of SWAT officers.
Yeah. If you have one challenge for them to let's say skill challenge for them to find it, 11 people are going to try and do the same challenge. It's a higher chance to succeed.
I was desperate at this point, but I knew a lot of players were enjoying the combat, mostly because we could fall back on the crunchier game rules and use cool features they had chosen for their characters. Yeah. So I flipped through the monster manual and chose something I thought would hold them for a while. A giant. That poor giant didn't stand a chance.
Really?
It certainly took a while to deal with because everyone was still trying to figure out how to play the game, but the action economy was in shambles.
It depends on which edition of Pathfinder, second or first.
Either way, I think it's like, because he probably doesn't understand multi-attack or anything, so it's probably like, the giant attacks once, and then everyone else attacks once. Some of the players wanted to loot. I had no loot to give.
He's a giant.
So
It's probably a bare bones giant. Like a hill giant or something.
What did he say? What did he do?
So a player took the giant's dick. Definitely something I'd veto these days, but I didn't really know how to tell players no if it wasn't something explicitly
we know
in the
that
rules.
part. We know you don't know how to say no.
There's 12 people there, bro.
That part's established.
Also, which fucking psychopath was like, I cut off the giant's dick?
Somebody. You have 11 players.
Well, they're all like freshmen in high school.
Yeah.
I cut off his dick.
I guarantee he tried to use it as like a weapon, like in Saints Row the Third.
This probably came out around then.
Yeah. At that
Bullshit Chungus humor.
At that point, it was getting pretty late. I was out of ideas. So I let them track back to the first town without any issues. That was it. So I just
They
love
just went on a rampage through the countryside with no real objective.
Yeah, so if we were to look at this adventure, like sort of like just as it is. So 11 people got together, an entire bar. Okay, you know how it's like, a few adventurers at the bar. No, the whole bar, the whole tavern of people got together and were like, there's something over there. We need to get it.
Before they did, they thieved the houses about them.
Oh,
and
yeah.
did some shopping.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm
Proceeded
gonna steal the shopkeeper's own goods and sell them back to him.
The Morrowind tactic.
proceeded to walk through a valley, slaughtered an army of wolves. got to where they needed to go, broke into the place. There was a giant. They killed it and cut its dick off, and then went back home. Was the giant's dick the item in question?
Honestly, this is probably going to be like the best out of the stories we read.
Well, I was gonna say for a campaign of 12 people, for at least like a one shot of 12 people, that could have gone like a lot worse if it just ends there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'm surprised you kept everyone's interest.
Especially high schoolers, dude.
Yeah, and like they said, like they seemed like they were having fun when they were in combat at least because they got to use their abilities.
That reminds me.
Because, like, D&D is half combat, and that's what a lot of your character's abilities are.
That reminds me of he chopped the giant's dick off and that's not cool and all that stuff, but it reminds me, I talked about it on the show before, the one guy I talked to at the medieval fair when I was like 14 years old, he was like 16, and he talked about like this one time he was in a group of players, much like this, it was like a huge group of like 10 to 15 players, and like they beat a necromancer, but rather than like kill him outright or whatever because they had the option to do it, it's really fucked up, they like held him down and raped him with his own staff.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, but it just
Did Shadiversity write that campaign?
Well, he was the player that did it. But,
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no. So it's just like that. It's just like that seems to be like kind of like what immature high school boys seem to do with their D&D time. Is like, oh, how can I mutilate the genitals of this villain?
Mutilation genitals equals fluffy.
Oh, we circumcised the giant.
We chatted a bit, polished off our drinks and snacks, and everyone slowly trickled out. My first TTRPG experience in the bag. What a mess. Luckily, I found another group a couple years later, and we have been playing together for over 5 years now. The Dick Looter is still with us.
The Dick Looter.
And he is one of our best players I've ever met. He reads the rules very carefully and finds really impressive off-the-wall ways to use his spells and character features. Great role player too. Gets very into character. Probably not what you'd expect, eh? So basically, like, oh,
Yeah,
that
Dick
guy.
Looter's chill.
Yeah, Dick Looter turned out to be a cool guy.
Dick Looter's my goat.
So. I'm not the tech guy. Okay, I'm not the Donatello of our crew. I don't do machines. Okay. I'm the
You will
Raphael.
not survive in the cyberpunk world.
I'm not even one of the Turtles dudes. I'm Casey Jones.
That's why your empathy
You know,
stat
that's
for red is so low.
What'd you say?
That's why your empathy stat for red is so low.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
iDubbbz.
you
I'm not
would-
32. I don't have empathy yet.
Yeah.
So the stats a little low. Okay. Sorry, I'm not empathetic to let other dudes fuck my wife. Okay.
You wouldn't equip cyberware. You couldn't do it.
Dude, iDubbbz would be Adam Smasher. He's got so much empathy.
He'd try to be Adam Smasher, but he'd get like bad tech and have to go to the fucking Ripper Doc.
Probably.
Like that one gig.
Dude, his breath is sticky even though he's like mostly robot.
He tried to get like self-washing like implants for his mouth, and they just ended up breaking his jaw.
He gets a asshole sealing implant, so he stops shitting.
He just gets fucked over, and they just remove his intestine.
This one sounds interesting. Rant. I lost a 12-year friend over a single magic item in a Curse of Strahd campaign.
Curse of Strahd, yeah, no, I buy it.
I mean, I've listened to a lot of D&D horror stories. Half of them are about Curse of Strahd. I don't know what it is about the campaign. I don't know if it's just because it's that popular.
Ravenloft was a challenging D&D game, like setting back in the day.
Oh yeah,
and so like it's very like gothic and like classic movie monster inspired.
So like the popularity of it would just lead more people to play it, which would result in naturally more horror stories taking place there.
Yeah.
Well, perfect.
It's notoriously difficult
Spooky
too.
vampires.
True.
But like the old Ravenloft like adventures and stuff were notoriously difficult too. So it was a challenging thing to experience.
So you think that like that would also lead to people to be kind of more on edge,
Yeah,
to cause problems?
absolutely.
So again, to reiterate, lost a 12-year-old friend over a
12-year friend, not 12-year-old friend.
No, you're right. That is the point.
Yeah.
That distinction.
Lost a 12-year friend.
Yeah. Over a single magic item in a Curse of Strahd campaign. So honestly, at this point, I'm probably just bitching for the sake of it, but it feels good to type it all out. I'm running a Curse of Strahd game. We've been going for about 6 or 7 sessions now, 5 players, all currently level 5. I'm using the campaign guide, as well as a couple of homebrew tweaks, like sunlight being truly rare, player-generated light being dimmed, and a few other things that don't matter for this thread. Okay, so you're modding the game, we get it. We're having a blast. Well, apparently not.
Apparently that stopped at some point.
Yeah, the tension. This is very like my best friend after that bullshit coded. The tension is super high, and several players have come to me after sessions to say that it was, quote, the best D&D session they've ever been a part of.
Okay.
I'm super honored.
And then everyone clapped.
And then everybody clapped, and then my friend gave me $20 before leaving the campaign. I mean,
But texted everybody else but me.
Enter a friend of mine. We'll call him Doug. Obviously not his real name. So Doug Walker is a longtime YouTuber.
Don't insert Mr. Walker into this horror
He
story.
reviews things so you don't have to. And about 16 years or so has DM'd himself. Hello, I'm the DM. I manage the monsters so you don't have to. I even played in one of his campaigns. And he loves to min-max his builds. I have no problems with that. Min-max to your heart's content. It's your character as long as it's within the rules. He's playing a barbarian. All 5 levels in barbarian so far. And from the start of the campaign, he's been trying to start issues. Now, what
Such
are-
as?
Well, let's find out. The party reaches the first village, Barovia, and goes to the general store. One of the NPCs notices he's an elf, and as the dialogue suggests, starts asking him a lot of questions out of nowhere. Just an innocent, curious kid. I roleplay him as such. Doug straight up cold clocks him out of nowhere.
I deck him in the face.
Yeah.
Bah!
Kid's like, I've never seen someone like you before. Racist! Microaggression! All right, sure, you cold cock him. The kid yelps in pain and runs behind the counter where his uncle is. The uncle apologizes for his nephew's behavior. I don't believe that would be the outcome.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, the DM probably wasn't expecting one of the players to
Assault a child.
Yeah, so we're just trying to brush that under the rug. All right, keep it going. We're sticking with the story.
He apologizes for his nephew's behavior, but Doug's character asks to leave while the others are still allowed to shop. So there is some consequence. He's not allowed to buy from this store owner
Gotcha.
anymore.
Yeah.
But he's like, well, I think we should all leave now. Listen, guys, I know I assaulted a child. I think we should all have to pay the price for that. It's only fair.
We should all walk out, yeah.
Yeah.
It's unfair that he won't let me in here.
This
Yeah.
racist child began asking me about my race. So
No.
I asserted myself. I set boundaries with my
I stood
fist.
my ground.
Wait. Was Doug the one playing the elf?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it seems so. So he's playing like an elf barbarian, it seems.
Hmm.
But yeah, so Doug strikes him with the fist of justice.
I
And
don't
now
know if there was any justice in that.
everybody's allowed to shop at him. Racist uncle. We need to protest the store, you guys.
And then Doug puts a collar on the child and reaches off camera.
For his zin. I didn't think it was too big a deal, so the session moves forward. You didn't think he assaulted a child for asking questions? You didn't think it was a big deal?
All right, well, calm down, because remember, one of the players that we were with one time dropped a rock into a daycare, essentially.
Yeah,
of tadpoles.
fuck?
That's true. We could go into that.
Why are we reading other people's stories?
So the session moves forward. Later, the kid is sent to kidnap Irina while she and her brother take their father to church to be buried. So this is
Take me to church. There you go.
this is kind of written in a way I don't like, because I've never played Curse of Strahd. I don't like it's written as though I am to know.
Yeah, like I know what these places, these people are.
Yeah, okay. A thing happens. Doug spots this and attacks. The kid tries to run after a couple of rounds, and Doug chases him down and tries to execute him.
Why does he just want to slaughter this child?
Okay, a bit extreme since the kid is running away, but sure. The kid escapes into the mist, and Doug goes back to protect Irina. We end the session and return a week later. More stuff happens. They have an epic fight with
Strahd's brother.
Strahd's brother, where Doug actually tries to kill Irina. Okay, so now he's trying to kill the girl that they're protecting, saying, quote, if Strahd wants her and might win, then I'll just have to tear the roots out of the dirt, end quote. Okay, so this person is important to Strahd, so we must kill them. I loved it. You
Yeah.
loved this decision?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
They're best friends for a reason.
I guess. It was a huge twist no one had ever done in my Curse of Strahd games, probably for a reason.
Yeah, probably because you're not meant to do that.
Totally flipped my plans, and I had to adapt. No problem. Irina gets away, kidnapped by Strahd's brother. Next session, Doug instantly says he's going back to the general store to burn it down. So he is protesting the store. He asks if anyone's...
How many flags does he have in his bio?
He asks if anyone's inside. Then he says he's locking the door. I tell him no one's inside. The store owner and the kid fled Barovia after they failed to kidnap Irina for the supposed good of the village. Doug says, damn, I wanted to burn them alive. I'll burn it down anyway. Dude, Doug's been playing for 16 years. That automatically means he's a good player, even when he does stuff like this.
No. No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
I'm gonna start playing like Doug, Mikey. I hope you.
You are uninvited from
Oh, what was the last person said? We're just going through a rough patch. I don't think I want to go to my games.
going through a rough patch.
You know what's funny? Hold on, pause on the story for a second.
Yeah.
In retrospect, I think every game that I've DM'd has ended up being a horror story to some extent.
Unfortunately, yes.
I think that's why I'm kind of adverse to it now, because every time I've done it, there's been some kind of shit like this going down.
We can talk about ours if we want to cap on the episode. Cue player outrage. The other players start getting angry. I wonder why. Asking what would happen if he did that. I explain, well, you might get kicked out of Barovia for burning down the general store. And make,
But what are the repercussions?
and make enemies for the rest of the
It
campaign.
goes to the outskirts of Barovia, and that's not a fun place to be.
More than you already have. Consequences for your actions, despite the protests, he keeps trying. I'm trying to let him do it. Why are you trying to let him do it? Every player is against it. Yeah.
Just say no.
Yeah,
It's
just-
not happening.
Yeah. Other players don't want you to do this, so it's not happening. Group vote.
Yeah.
I'm about to let him do it when the other players finally convince him not to. Crisis averted. Well, no, they actually
You
do.
needed convincing. You should have just shut him down.
Yeah. No,
You're the DM.
yeah, no, you don't want to do this. All the other players don't want you to. Or he does burn it down and he gets chased off, roll a new character.
Yeah.
Tell him when he burns the place down, just say the foundations break and you're crushed to death and you die.
Something I've noticed a lot in D&D horror stories in general is that people are so afraid to tell their players no because they don't want to take away their player agency.
That's because D&D players are so introverted and so anxious that they can't handle confrontation.
I think on the opposite side of, not that I don't agree with you, but I think on the opposite side of that, I also think that there's sort of this issue that listen, just because yes, you do have player agency and in D&D you can do more than you say could do in Skyrim or any video game, that doesn't mean oh, you go banana nut ape shit and you start cutting off giant dicks and fucking you know what I mean, burning down places and killing civilians.
There's something that's biblically related, give man real freedom, he'll bring out the worst of him or something like that.
That sounds like something. But it's true, and that's kind of what's happening here. Or if we wanted to compare it to the prisoner experiment or whatever, where they had the fake prison guards with the fake prisoners, and they started just abusing them because they could.
Yeah, they had full power over the prisoners.
Again, it's like that.
Yeah.
So, again, that's just something I noticed in a lot of D&D horror stories. Whenever a problem player arises, they're so afraid to tell them no. Partially because, like you said, they're introverted and they don't want to deal with conflict, but then also on the flip side of that, again, it's just oh well, I don't want to take away their player agency, and it's well, they're abusing their player agency, which means that You have revoked it.
Yeah.
You're the DM, you're the rule keeper. That means it's on you to be like, no.
You can't do this.
Yeah, because it'll derail the whole fucking game. Fast forward several sessions. That was around session 2. So we're only 2 sessions in and already all this has happened. We're about to start our next game tomorrow when he texts me about a magic item I have given the party early on. I usually let every player pick 2 to 3 common or uncommon items if we start at above level 1. He asks if he can trade it with the Vistani for a different item. Okay, so he's like, can I trade my uncommon item for something else? Mm-hmm. He wants to do this because it's no longer useful, and he picked it mainly for thematic reasons, the Moonglaive. I tell him no, he can't trade it. I haven't allowed any other players to trade items like that, and it wouldn't make any sense in this setting. He assumes that means I won't let him sell it, but I say he can sell it. Instead, he replies that he wants to, quote, go Vlad to the next NPC who annoys him. So he wants to just murder the next guy who pisses him off. And since the group will be acting as guards during the Blazing Sun Festival in Valaki, he'll have the opportunity. He adds, everyone can place bets on when the tip starts glowing through the top of the NPC. What? So, okay, so yeah, he's just like, I'm just gonna go on a killing spree.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna impale somebody on
Wow, it's so fun.
Yeah, you won't let me trade in my Moonglaive, so I'm just gonna go on a killing spree when I have like the ability to do so. I reply, how about you don't?
This is. You should have been like this earlier.
Yes.
Honest, but
I mean, at least they're putting their foot down now before it starts going off the rail too bad.
I tell him that since he's tried to disrupt the campaign multiple times like this, that this continued behavior would be a fast track to getting banned from the game. I follow up with, I really like your character. Why? But okay.
I don't think you do.
And how you've played him otherwise. Interesting. But that's not cool. It feels like you're taking it out on me for not letting you trade the item, and on the other players, because that would that the world will react to that. Okay, so he's saying like, you won't let me do this like metagame style, so you're taking your anger out like in game.
Your frustration and taking out your frustration in game. It's stupid.
He says you gotta do what you gotta do. So he's doing the equivalent of like burning down the shopkeeper's shop, but out of like,
Yeah.
He's burning the boat while he's on it.
yes.
He's just like, I don't care.
You gotta get this guy out of here.
I respond, no, I don't want to kick you out. I just need you to be more considerate of the other players and respect the world that I'm trying to run for them.
No, you heard what he said. You gotta get him out.
Yeah.
He's a detriment to both you and the other players.
Yeah, you know what this reminds me of, Mikey?
Yeah.
Kinda. To like go and dig into our past a little bit. It reminds me.
Let sleeping dogs lie.
No. I'm unbearing that. You gotta do what you gotta do, Mikey.
I gotta kick you off the show.
But it does remind me, there was like when I first started playing Qual Kalmar, I remember you didn't like the way I was playing with him, and I talked to you and I said, do you not like the way I'm playing this character? And you said, no, and I adjusted, and that was that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just reminds me of like, it just like reminds me of like if we were both dickheads in that situation of
Be like, well, I'm gonna kill everybody.
You don't like Qual Kalmar? Well, guess what? Now he's a murderer.
Well, guess what? Now you're not playing anymore.
And then a meteor falls out of the sky and hits just you.
Yeah, rocks fall, you die.
He goes nuclear, messaging a mutual friend, claiming that I kicked him out of the party and saying that he shouldn't come to the next session either. Screenshots prove I never said that. The friend is still coming, but now Doug wants to be removed from all group chats and tells me to lose his number, his final message.
Okay.
You seem to have a few issues with how I roleplay, but I won't be controlled. I quit!
Okay, bye.
Yeah, go find another party that's going to put up
Yeah,
with that
can't
shit,
buy it.
because that's ridiculous.
I still have 3 other players that I'm having a lot of fun with, so I'm gonna focus my energy on them.
Yeah. Who actually respect what we're trying to do here.
Yeah, I probably want to see progress and the conclusion of this adventure.
Mm. Speaking of which, when are we going to see the conclusion of our adventure? Our
What?
personal
When we
game?
all get together.
And not do this. So now I'm down a player, but D&D goes on. Guess I get to kill off his character however I want. Oh no. Please don't tell me you're petty.
You don't need to do that.
Yeah, just say he leaves. Just say he leaves.
He's gone.
Be the bigger person.
Yeah.
No, they're petty. They're angry.
Don't bite the apple.
Yeah. What the fuck? All of this because I wouldn't give him a new item after his own choice stopped him being useful. I kind of want him to come back, but why?
No, you don't.
But mostly, I just don't want it to end like this. I've known this guy for 12 years. He's the one who got me into D&D in the first place. What the fuck? This is stupid. Anyway, thanks for reading my BS. Have a nice night. TLDR. Running a Curse of Strahd campaign that's been going on, 5 players, all level 5, everyone having a blast. One longtime friend, Doug, who's been D&Ding for 16 years and loves to min-max, kept causing chaos for no... I thought this was a TLDR. Punches a kid for no reason, tried to execute him later. Yeah, attempted to kill Irina and wanted to burn down the general store for fun. After several warnings and the rest of the table getting frustrated, he messaged me wanting to trade in a magic... Okay, we got... Okay.
It's just rereading this. Right? That's too long to read. We need a TLDR for that.
Yeah, TLDR.
P.S. PSS.
Yeah. PSSS, I love you.
He is.
But so, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can understand you're friends with this guy. You're longtime friends with this guy. You don't... Something tells me you know he's a bit of a crybaby based on, like, the fact that you kind of kept letting him get away with bullshit. Mm. So, like...
Yeah, you should have put your foot down in the very beginning. You shouldn't have let it get to this long. I hope you've learned from that experience.
Mm-hmm. There are some people who are friends that just aren't meant to be players together. I'm a firm believer in that because there have been people who I've played D&D with and we just don't mesh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because, like, you know.
All right, well, say it to my face, Patrick.
I was actually going to say, like, legitimately, like, my brother being an example of one. Because he likes more silly, goofy, ironic, off-the-cuff type games. Icons. You know, I can play Icons with him all day. But Dungeons & Dragons, not so much. You know what I mean? For me, when I want to play Dungeons & Dragons with somebody, it's got to be kind of taken seriously.
Yeah.
And I can't play with people who want that, like, irreverent style of game humor.
I couldn't do it. I don't think I could finish like a little campaign like that.
That's been all of my experiences, not against my.
So yes, this is an impromptu. Let us finish off our spooky tale with the time Keelan ran a game, and it was awful.
Ran a couple games.
Well, I was thinking.
But why was this campaign awful?
Which one?
Okay, I'll tell it from my perspective then. The time we were at my former friend's place, and
that one, yeah.
we had 3 players. It was
the first one. Okay, yeah,
it was
start with that.
It was me and 2 of my other friends.
Okay,
trying to keep an anonymity here. And okay, we'll do the class thing. I paladin, DM, cleric, and barbarian. Okay.
There we go.
We played 3 games together, I believe, and everything was actually going pretty well.
It was like 3 or 4, somewhere in that ballpark.
And then
it
happened.
Barbarian invited 2 new players without consulting any of the rest of the group.
Okay,
oh wait, no, did that not happen earlier than that?
No, it did.
Okay, so then it might have been only like 2 or 3
fuck?
before they showed up, because I was thinking about like total of what we had all played.
Yes. So, Fighter, half-orc Fighter, who honestly was kind of like a non-issue. I had issues with him personally, but not in-game. That's not what this is about.
Mm-hmm.
Problem player, Druid.
Yeah.
Druid was awful, okay? From the first time they showed up, they wanted to play a Druid, which I don't think is a very beginner-friendly class, but they wanted to play it.
Yeah, they were new.
And I
was a newbie. This was my first time DMing.
Yeah, I was the most experienced player there. So I was trying to help Druid make her character.
Yeah.
She was just so... Everything out of her mouth was so fucking negative. It was so annoying and
Real negative Nancy.
Like when we were going down the list of cantrips, she just kept being like, well, that spell sucks. Well, that spell sucks. Well, that doesn't sound useful.
Well, then
that
why do
spell
you want to
sucks."
play this class?
Well,
Because
also
they
the-
like the idea, their own personal idea that they built in their head is more satisfying than what's actually in the game.
Mhm.
That's often what the case is.
And I kept trying to explain, these are cantrips. They're meant to be level 0 spells that
Yeah,
you can
they just
spam.
throw out. Yeah.
Like, so they can't be, like, great. They kind of have to be shit by nature by the fact that you can...
Yeah.
Yeah, they can't be Eldritch Blast, but to be fair, that's all Warlock gets.
That's Warlock bread and butter.
Yeah. But so, we finally make her character. It takes fucking forever, and we get to the game. And she's just... I don't know about Yuki, but to me, she was just the most aggravating player to play with. Because, like, she refused to learn the rules. Every time it came around to her turn...
Yeah, you got a non-player. Somebody who
No,
who
she was- yeah, no, she was
someone-
not putting it
Someone
in.
who was dragged along, put in this position, and just didn't want to be there.
Well, no, she wanted to be there because she kept coming back, and she said she liked D&D after this. I don't know why,
Yeah.
but like,
So we have there's two things conflicting there.
but like she just refused to learn how
It's
to
just
play.
because I'm that good.
Because she kept being like, well, I want to do this. Like she wouldn't even say like a spell or whatever.
Yeah.
Like she would describe the action that she would want to take. Well, I want this outcome, and we'd be like, well, if you
that's-
cast,
it's like, well, you
I
have
kind of get
what
that
spells
for
here
new,
that
for
you
new
would do
players,
that.
like they're sort of getting the hang of it.
Well,
It's-
we see, yeah. Well, and that's why, like, we weren't upset at first, because, like, same thing. I would try and usher out and be like, oh, like, I want to do this or whatever she's saying, right? And then, like, same thing, I'd point out, be like, all right, well, you have these spells, you have these abilities, you could try for this, would you like to make this kind of roll or save or something? But she wouldn't retain any of that on purpose.
Oh.
And, like, wouldn't adjust how she was playing or, like, how she was asking to do things. It was just still staying in that, like, first phase and just expecting us to pick up the slack
You gotta,
around.
Yeah.
you gotta put some effort into it.
Yeah, which
and if you don't, you don't want it.
yeah, which dice do I roll? What she would even go so far as to be like,
I can forget
what-
the dice thing.
what's the total outcome? Like she would have us do the math for her.
No,
Like,
you gotta do it. You gotta use your little brain. And you gotta add.
You know how hard you're hitting.
The thing that I hated the most about her, like, was her role play, believe it or not. Because she was like, I want to play a pacifist character. How she played a pacifist character.
Okay,
Was
if you're
very
playing,
brutally violent.
you can't play a pacifist character in D&D. It's half of the game
Is
is
combat.
combat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you wanna sit and play and do nothing, go do something else.
I think you could play like a pseudo pacifist. Like, what if you're like a pure healer or something like that? Like, you only do support spells. Like, there's stuff you can do.
It'll wear on you after a while.
But no, dude. So she would be the one to start the fights. Like, she'd be an aggro asshole to people, which would cause them to attack us.
Yeah,
and then she
a
would
fight
run
would
away.
start. Yeah, and then she'd be like, "Oh, well, I'm not helping with that. I'm a pacifist."
And then after the fight, we would be like, "Well, could you
This
heal us?"
person's a control freak.
We would be like, "Could you help us at least?"
No.
And she was like, "Well, yeah." She'd be like, "No, like, could you heal us?" And she'd be like, "No, I don't want to heal murderers. You're
Yeah.
bad people. Why are you with us?"
Yeah,
Yeah, get up and leave the table.
yeah, because to be fair, when the campaign had first started, I was just expecting like for them to all pick or like to all make characters that were just gonna be like basic adventurers, just doing a thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
So that's what I had initially planned for, and then they all decided when they were making their characters like Session 0, and I already had whatever written up that they were all gonna be evil. And I'm like, all right, well, I can rework this real quick. It was
No.
like enough for me to
Rookie
shift.
mistake.
Yeah, because originally I remember I did
Yeah.
something similar because
That's how my very first game that I ran.
Yeah.
That was not a published adventure. There was something I made up. That's how that.
That's what I've never used a published adventure anytime that I've DM'd. It's always been homebrew.
Yeah, what I did personally is because I was originally going to be a Dragonborn Paladin, and I needed to find like a god to worship, and I found Talona, and just something about it really called to me. The goddess of poison and pestilence and disease. and so that kind of automatically made me evil because I followed a goddess of poison and death. Admittedly, though, I wasn't like an evil, really. I wasn't like murder Hobie or whatever. I was just kind of.
No,
like,
you were the most you were the most level-headed of the bunch. I will say that.
which I didn't even like because I wanted to.
He wanted to be the freak, but he had to play the straight man because everybody else was like falling apart.
I talk like this.
And then, so mind you, I'm building these encounters and stuff, and then what was it, Bard? I think.
Bard wanted a gun.
Bard wanted a gun.
Put Pathfinder if you want a gun.
Yeah, and I had to work around. I was like trying to give you guys like an enchantment or something on your weapon because it was like initially what it was like you guys had to go into
a cave.
Yeah, it was like a cave. Like somebody was like, oh, my friend got kidnapped in there. I need you to give help. And then it was like a bandit ambush. And they take out the bandits, and they actually have like a dwarf blacksmith like chained in here making their weapons. So, but he was like the local town's blacksmith. So like he comes back and he's like, well, I've got like certain enchantment things that like have been passed down in my family for freeing me. I'll give you each like an enchantment on your weapon kind of thing.
Okay, cool.
But they had to do it. It was like he could only do it on the full moon. Like
past.
So that way,
like a ritual.
Yeah. So it was like they wouldn't get it for like a session or so.
Okay.
Like it would give it like some time, but they had to give up their weapon
to him.
Yeah. So that way, next session they would get it back with like an enchantment kind of thing.
I chose my armor.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and then I think Barbarian chose the axe, and then did Bard end up doing the gun once they had
I
it?
have no.
Can you make a gun?
I remember what happened with the gun. So real quick, I gave up my breastplate when I got it back. It had the enchantment for me to basically turn it on like a light, so I wouldn't have to waste a hand spot on a torch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a useful enchantment for like role play and like.
And some of the caves, the environments that I put you in.
What happened with Bard is he was like, I have no idea. He was just like, I want a gun. I want my character to have a gun.
He was harping on it so bad. What I ended up doing was, it was like, because the second bit they ended up having to go on was they went down into like a goblin cave that like the town folk were just like it was in the guild or whatever. I think this was around the time when the other players came in because they were. Yeah, because you guys came into like the Adventurers Guild to find, your next work, and that's when you met the other two players when they came in.
Mm-hmm.
So
can I touch on that for 1 second?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I want to talk about this just to give an idea of like just how selfish the other players were at the table. Because yes, the introduction of these new players was meant to be at the Adventurers Guild. So Key starts the game and he says, "Well, there's two places you can go. You can go back to your blacksmith friend or the Adventurers Guild." And I said, we should go to the Adventurers Guild so that the other players can get in the game as soon as possible. And the other party members were like, no, I want to go to the blacksmith to get my stuff first. And it's like, we got two other people waiting here.
Yeah.
And I think, how long did it take we were at the blacksmith's for a minute.
Well, because, I guess you guys were getting back your stuff, and then they were asking what all the specific the enchantments were. So I had to run down what the enchantments did and how to, like, activate them and stuff like that. So it was just like a whole process of them getting their shit. So I tried to hurry it along as quick as possible, but it was like I was trying to be like, oh, here's your stuff, and then it was like, oh, but what does it do? Like, how do you enchant? How do you do it? So it's like, all right, so it does this, blah blah blah. Like I'm gonna run it down to them real quick.
If you set up something to where players have to do literally nothing but wait and get something, they'll just sit and do nothing. They won't go and do something in the meantime if it isn't like a time-related thing.
I'm learning that again. This was not a pre-made adventure, and this is my first time DMing.
Yeah. So, but what I remember, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe what happened is there was a rusted flintlock pistol at in an ooze, in an ooze. We defeat the ooze. He gets the pistol. He gives it to the blacksmith, and that's I don't even think it's magic. I think we get magic weapons, and he gets a fixed flintlock.
Yeah.
And I remember his character became gimped after that because he spent every turn trying to fire the gun.
And he wasn't built for it.
He wasn't proficient in it.
Yeah.
He wasn't proficient in firearms.
Yeah, that was the thing. It was like he kept
every attack's a disadvantage.
Yeah, exactly. Because he wanted the gun, so I thought he built his character around it, and he kept bringing it up, and I'm like, all right, so because I didn't want to just.
My dream is to have a gun.
Yeah, well, that's just I didn't want to just give it to him. So like I said, so they finally went back because that's just it. He didn't have anything he wanted to enchant yet that first session or so when they had saved the blacksmith because he wanted that gun so bad. So he dropped off his breastplate. Barbarian dropped off the axe. So they got their stuff back enchanted. He didn't have anything. So they all finally went back to the Adventurers Guild. Met up with the other party members finally, got the contract for the goblins, and then they went down to like the cave. So it was like the cave. I had it so it would like follow down a path, but it also, it was like you came to like a fork in the path, a certain way in, and if you went to the left, it seemed like it stayed straight, but if you went to the right, it descended down. So I think they decided to go to the left first. And I had it to where it was like just kind of like a chamber where there was like this big ooze in there, and they could see that there was like floating around, some remains of adventurers and a flintlock pistol that has been like half decayed by the ooze. Yeah, so just so that way there was something there to get him to stop harping about getting this gun. So
ironically, though, that completed his character arc.
Yeah,
he got it. So he was like a non-character after.
Should have had him blow his arm off.
Yeah. So they got the gun. So they defeat the ooze. He gets the gun, and then he's like, all right, well, I'm gonna run back to town to drop this off to the blacksmith. So we go back there. He drops off to the guy, and I'm like, well, just so you know, you're not gonna be getting this.
You should have said, I'm a blacksmith, not a gunsmith.
Yeah, that would have been good. If it was me DMing now, I'd probably do that. But at the time, I was just like, all right, yeah. So his enchantment was gonna fix the gun, or he'd be able to do that. It was like a restoration thing or something on there. So I'm like, so you have to give it up for the session or so, because it was gonna be like a couple sessions. So like the month would pass, and he would go to the next full moon because it's already passed when he enchanted their weapons. So he drops the gun off. They go back into the cave. They're defeating the goblins and stuff, and I had written it into where it was like this was just a tribe of goblins that had like escaped the Underdark that were being held captive, and they had like used a seal to like block off the passage, and that like they were just living there, like they didn't really want to like mess with anybody, but at the same time like they were just kind of like taking what they needed or could get out of like the environment around them. So so it was like, oh, they were kind of causing an issue, so they got people sent after them kind of idea. So it was like, you could side with the Goblin King, you could kill him, whatever it may be. But it was just like this little like tribe of goblins that was like hiding in here, and like they kept pestering the shaman to like open the Underdark passage, and I was like, no, they're not gonna do that.
That's the perfect moment for you to TPK all of them.
I was just
they open up the Underdark passage, some like fucking Umber Hulk or something comes out of there, and they just.
But I was like, put my foot down. I was like, no. I was like, there was no reason the shaman would want to open that passage. That ceiling, they ran away. Why would they open it for you?
In fairness, I had no idea.
Game like the strategy, you gotta flip it on them.
In fairness, I had no idea what the Underdark was at the time.
Yeah.
So I was
it's
just
a
kind
nasty place. You don't want to be in there.
Yeah. So I was just kind of like,
you didn't know, but you also kind of caught on to what I was insinuating, but everybody else kept pushing for it.
That was like another thing is like our party was very like, again, it was the whole situation of like, we have total freedom. I want this to happen. I said I want this to happen.
And you're gonna give it to me. You're gonna give it to me because you're my bitch.
Yeah,
I'm taking advantage of your inexperience.
So rather than like, we're having rather than we're having like a collaborative storytelling thing, it's like, no, I want this. I want this. Give me this.
Yeah, give me this outcome. How do I get this outcome out of the world that you're making? Like,
yeah,
I don't care about your story. I care about what's in the book. I want the item that's in the book.
So real quick, just to finish that off, like the story, basically just to have like an ending to it, like the campaign just fell apart. Like we couldn't get it together after a certain period of time, and nobody really wanted to, just because like I especially just didn't want to deal with Druid anymore. In our last session, I broke down and I yelled at her because I was pissed because she was like, because she tried to play.
I was trying, man. I was trying.
I know it wasn't your fault at all. But like the Druid, dude, the Druid said like some sexist shit to me, and I was not taking that shit lying down.
She was like, "You're a man, so you go do the fighting."
No, she said like she turned to Barbarian, who was also a woman, and said, oh, typical, because like this was like the 20th time I had to explain to her how fucking dice work in Dungeons and Dragons, and several sessions or whatever, and she's like, and I said in an annoyed tone, oh, it's this dice, and she was like, typical man. They don't tell you anything but expect you to know everything. And I yelled at her. I said, you know when I tell you which spell to use and what dice to use and which modifiers to add? That is me teaching you the fucking game. And it destroyed the whole mood after that, and then we never got together for another session.
You guys put up with that person for too long.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, I was at I was at somebody's house. Like they were hosting.
Okay.
Like I may have been the DM, but it was their friend that they had invited. I couldn't kick their friend out of their house.
It was Barbarian's house.
That fucking sucks.
It was Barbarian's house and Barbarian's friend.
Yeah, so I can't just say your friend can't come here to play this game.
Your friend can't come to your house.
At that point, if I was in that position, I would have probably said something, and then if they weren't leaving, I'd probably leave.
Well, to be fair, it got to a point in the game I wouldn't even call it a campaign, but in the game that I was making, that I just kind of stopped giving a shit. It was kind of like leaning into just like they're not taking it seriously. The local lord of the town was just a fucking dog.
We all liked that.
Yeah, it was a borzoi sitting on a throne, and
I don't know what that is.
It's those ones with
dog.
the long skinny ones with the fucking like long ass noses.
Isn't
I'll
that
show you.
a Dachshund?
No,
No.
I'll show you a picture of him. But they, it was just one of those, and he had like a fanatical like wormtail-esque like steward that was like all hail this dog. He's like, I am the speaker for the lord for like the lord of this region, and like he would just interpret like the small movements or barks that the dog would make.
I will say that was a twist we all loved, because I remembered when that was revealed, like we all like kneeled down before the dog and we were like, I serve you, my lord.
Well, even when I'm being goofy, I try. Right? Like I'm trying for you guys. I'm trying.
Man.
But and then I'll talk about at least the first session of the other campaign.
Which one was that?
The one with you as a Grung barbarian.
Oh, Druid and then Dragonborn Ranger.
Yeah. So so the story starts off with I'm just gonna compress this in. So Patrick's character, Grung barbarian, wants to lead his tribe. Druid is a different person at this time. Is a
entirely new cast except for me and Key.
Yeah. Druid this time is a Myconid. And the way I tried to start him off is, again, that's another Underdark race. So I'm like, all right, so this, foresty swamp place that they live in, would be like, the Myconids, in their spread of their region broke through to the surface, but it was an inhabitable enough environment that they're able to exist there and are able to coexist with the Grung in the region. So they have some kind of trade network going back and forth, essentially.
Okay.
Now, another thing about Myconids is that they speak through spores, so they have to send out a puff of spores every time they talk in order to expedite this, so that way they could communicate back and forth well enough. Is that I wrote it in so the Grung in this specific region, because of the frogs,
generational.
Yeah, like the frogs, like mucus skin and stuff like that. Is that there's so much of that spore contact that it just kind of seeps in and holds there for a long period of time, so they can just naturally talk with them. They don't have to release spores every time they want to have a conversation, kind of idea. So it was just enough so that way it just could right past that. Anyway, story starts with Myconid making its way to the Grung village, and runs into some small encounters along the way, whatnot. Kind of half role playing, not sure where she wants to take it, and then she gets to the village, and this is when things start getting a little dicey because she goes to the nursery, which is this big tadpole pool that some of the grungs are watching over and tending to, and she just takes a big rock and drops it in the middle of the pond, and nearly starts a mass panic in the village. So
I was asking her, I was like, why do you want to do that? And she's like, well, I just want to see what would happen.
They'll be incredibly mad at you and probably kill you for infanticide.
So then this is where I cut in Dragonborn Ranger's character to try and help cool things over, and then he's not helping because he's like, no, I just want to see what happens.
I did not like the way.
Okay, here's what happens.
Yeah.
You're dead.
I did not like the way he played it all. I'm gonna be honest, because we get to my character.
So I smooth it over because I don't want to fucking derail this thing so early. So I'm able to smooth this thing over to get it going on and start introducing Patrick's character when continue.
So what happens? So this was written in my backstory, but Key wanted to play it out. So how Grung Society works is that they actually have roles based off of the color you are when you're born. I was born an orange grung. Orange grungs are considered elite warriors. The gold grung is the leader. Now, my character, his name was Dupe, his motivation was to become the gold grung. He was like, I should be the leader because I'm the biggest and the strongest. So
you guys kind of like an insurrectionist a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, I specifically want to overtake the leader because I feel like I should be in that position.
Listen, I'm biggest and strongest. I don't have gold skin, but I'm bigger and stronger than you.
Exactly. We are. Listen, Gold Grung, he's small and weak. I am big and strong. I should be the Gold Grung.
Me be good leader.
Me be good. Yeah.
Very much so.
And so
Grung strong.
So, no, one of the details I liked about him is that he was still considered a small creature, but, among his people, he was a behemoth.
Yeah.
The average grung is 3 feet tall and 30 pounds, so I was specifically...
3'5"?
Yes, and 50 pounds.
Yeah, still very small, but
You're the Brock Lesnar of grung.
Yes.
And he used a short sword as though it was a gut-style blade.
Yeah, it was a human short sword that I used as a grung great sword. And so, so basically what happened, my origin story, which again, we're playing out, is I get on the leader's roof, and I basically am giving a speech about how if they don't make me the leader, I'm going to leave and come back with an army and kill every last
Oh, God.
Which is my character's reason for adventuring, is because he wants to...
we had talked. This wasn't just he's throwing this in there.
Oh, okay.
We had talked about it previously.
So you worked this out.
This was part of his character motivation. Okay. This is where we were going to be leading with the story kind of idea. So it's not he's just overtaking. No, I will burn down this village. This was played into. We had this settled.
My character's goal is to basically go off and become as strong as possible, both physically and politically, and then return with several kingdom's armies to this swamp of 50 frogs.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big funny outcome for.
You'd probably win with just one unit of cavalry.
But that was the joke.
Instead I'm gonna
I probably would have fit something in there to help make it a big final battle.
You find a band of horsemen and you're these guys are perfect.
And so to give the village one last chance to you will make me Gold Grung or I will burn this place to the ground.
Surrender.
And so that was my character's reason for adventuring. And again, the last act that I did before leaving my village is make my proclamation and then leave. Well, so I'm in the middle of doing that, and then Dragonborn uses his breath weapon to breathe lightning on me for some fucking reason, just to interrupt my speech, just so he'd have something to do.
Yeah. Would it be funny if I just breathe lightning and
literally that, and
wow.
strikes him out, and then he walks over.
I forgot.
So he zaps him off the roof, right? And it knocks him down. He's prone on the ground, and his Dragonborn Ranger goes over to pick up Dupe, Patrick's character, and I ask him, I'm like, does your character have gloves? And he goes, no. I'm like, well, how are you going to pick him up? And he's like, well, I'm just going to pick him up like this. I'm like, okay. So he picks him up. Well, Grung had poisonous skin.
Okay.
So when he picks him up, he takes poison damage and like falls down and almost dies.
If you touch a grung, if a grung grapples you or you grapple it or whatever, you are touching it and you activate its poison skin ability. You must make a constitution saving throw. If you fail, you take 2d8 poison damage. Or 2d4 poison damage, I'm sorry. 2d4 poison damage.
Yeah, I think he took like max damage.
Yeah, he was level...
That's funny.
He was level 1, he failed his constitution saving check, I rolled my 2d4, I rolled max damage, which knocked him down to like 2 hit points.
Yeah.
And then he took that as like if I was attacking his character.
Yeah, so he's like, no, I'm gonna kill him because he just attacked me. I'm like, first of all, and I had to step in. I'm like, first of all, you shot lightning at him first.
First of all, you're the aggressor.
Yeah, you're the aggressor. Also, I didn't attack you.
Yeah.
I literally ignored your attack to like prevent like this PvP outcome.
Yeah.
And then like
yeah, you took damage because you grabbed him.
yeah, and then now you're trying to like say like, whoa, he attacked me. And also, I just want to point out, this would not have ended well for him. He was down to 2 HP, and he didn't even know I was a barbarian who hadn't popped his rage yet. So this was not going to go in his favor.
Yeah.
So so the campaign was already just off to a rough start.
And then
like
they finally made it out of the village, and there was like an encounter where they were by a stream, and I was like, oh, make a perception check, and like Ranger was the only one to pass, and he's seen it, like there was like a goblin there, like there was a goblin bowman by the stream, and so we all roll initiative, and the goblin goes first, and he like instantly gets a critical off on like the Ranger, but he was still low health. Like him and Patrick were at like low health, so he gets instantly knocked out. I described it as being kind of funny because it was like everybody's like walking past. He goes, "Oh, hey, look at that!" And there's a goblin who just instantly shoots him in the head, just knocks him down.
Yeah,
and then like as like the turn order went on, Patrick gets knocked down. So it's like
no, I kill it.
Oh no, yeah, you were.
No, what happens next is I pop my rage, and that's when he figured out, oh, you're a barbarian. I said yes, and then I just like cut it down the center gut style.
Yeah, that's right.
And then basically the game ends after that. Like
yeah, well that was like the first session. The second session
was
not nearly as rough.
I was going to say I don't think we need to go into that just because
no.
because it's not a horror story.
No. So I said I wanted to cover at least the first session because the second session was smooth, but then the first one was kind of a rough, rocky start.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was but. All right, guys. How do you feel in total about like the stories we read today? Were they spooky, terrifying? Did they fill you with fear and fright and arousal?
They feel very cringe because it's mostly people making rookie mistakes.
It worries me about DMing again, but at the same time, like you guys are a solid group to play with. Like I feel like it wouldn't go as bad.
No, I'm gonna get really, really mad because you're dating someone.
You're gonna only text Mikey. Show up.
Listen, I know we both have girlfriends, but also I feel like our bond should like supersede both of them. Mikey, back me up here. But yeah, I mean, again, just from what I've seen, it's just young people who haven't played much of the game or have had like a lot of life experience making mistakes either in or out of game through like just kind of social immaturity, which is fair because you're young and you don't have that much life experience.
D&D is a very social game.
It's a social game and it's a team game.
Mm-hmm. And not everybody knows how to play in a team.
Nope.
And so I don't know. I was entertained by our stories today, and
I was quite entertained.
I think we should read more sometime whenever the mood strikes.
Yeah.
But all right, guys, that has been our spooky Halloween special, and we hope to see you next week here in the corner of the tavern.